Wars have shaped human history, but how do these devastating conflicts actually conclude? Today, we're exploring the most common patterns in how wars typically come to an end. While every conflict is unique, history shows that wars tend to conclude through several recurring patterns, often dictated by military, political, or economic factors. The first major pattern is the decisive military victory, where one side clearly triumphs over the other, forcing a complete surrender. This ending is characterized by occupation, destruction of the enemy's military capacity, formal surrender documents, or a regime collapse. However, it's often less common than people might assume. The clearest example is World War II, which concluded after the unconditional surrender of Germany and Japan, marking a complete military victory for the Allied forces. Another common outcome is a negotiated peace settlement, reached when both warring sides decide that the cost of continuing is higher than the benefit of compromise. This process involves intensive diplomacy, mediation, ceasefires, and often results in territorial adjustments, prisoner exchanges, and security guarantees. The Korean War is a prime example, ending not with a peace treaty, but with an armistice. Historically, the Peace of Westphalia also ended the 30 Years' War through negotiation. Wars can also simply peter out due to attrition and exhaustion, where the conflict becomes politically, economically, or socially unsustainable for one or both sides. Exhaustion factors include catastrophic economic collapse, overwhelming casualties, loss of public morale, political opposition, or resource depletion. The Vietnam War eroded political support in the United States, and the Soviet-Afghan War heavily drained the Soviet Union, both ending due to internal exhaustion. Sometimes, a war ends because the government or regime that initiated or continued the conflict simply collapses or is overthrown. This outcome is characterized by revolutions, military coups, the death of key leadership, internal collapse, or significant civil unrest within the warring state. The Russian Revolution is a clear historical case, as it resulted in Russia's withdrawal from World War I, dramatically reshaping the dynamics of the conflict. A frozen conflict occurs when a war never fully resolves with a peace treaty, but simply stops escalating, leaving behind a prolonged state of tension. This type of ending is defined by demilitarized zones, no final political settlement, and long-term deterrence strategies designed to prevent a return to full-scale fighting. The Korean Peninsula is the most prominent example, technically remaining at war because the 1953 armistice was never replaced by a permanent peace treaty. External pressure or mediation involves international organizations or outside powers intervening to push the warring sides toward a peaceful resolution. This is achieved through diplomatic isolation, economic sanctions, offering aid incentives, security guarantees, or deploying peacekeeping forces to manage the conflict. Key examples include widespread UN mediation and peacekeeping efforts, as well as the US-mediated Camp David Accords between Israel and Egypt. Finally, especially in the nuclear age, wars may conclude or be prevented from escalating because the potential outcome is simply too dangerous. This pattern relies on a balance of power, where the fear of nuclear destruction, often called mutually assured destruction or MAD, discourages full-scale war between major powers, like during the Cold War.